Stop. Do you actually know what the cloud is? Or are you just memorizing definitions to pass an exam? Most people think the cloud is just someone else's computer, but that is a lie. Welcome to CloudGeniusHub. I am Amit, your cloud career architect. Welcome to the GCP Associate Cloud Engineer crash course. We are not here to read boring white papers. We are here to decode the DNA of Google Cloud using the telecloudify method. I had discussed about GCP ACE exam guide in my previous video, and today we are going to start from very fundamental level. Now imagine building an entire hotel just because you need to sleep for one night. You buy the land, lay the bricks and fix the plumbing. That is on premise. It's heavy, right? And it's very expensive. This is capex, capital expenditure. But now imagine walking into a 5-star hotel. You check in, use the pool, sleep in the luxury bed and check out. You only pay for the night. That is Google Cloud. It's OPEX, operating expenditure. You pay for what you use and Google handles the plumbing. But why GCP? Why not others like AWS or Azure? Here is the secret. When you build on GCP, you are not just renting servers. You are renting the same engine that runs YouTube, Gmail, Google Search, etc. You get access to Google's private global fiber optic network. It's faster, it's smarter, and it's the backbone of the future. This is not just infrastructure, it's a weapon for your career. So today we will start with Google Cloud Fundamentals core infrastructure. So Google Cloud. Let's start at the beginning with an overview of Google Cloud Computing. Some of you might be wondering about the basics. I just gave you one example of real life. I think that would be clear for everyone else, but I will go down deeper. So what exactly is Google Cloud and how is it organized and what makes it unique? In this module, we will answer that. Now the cloud is a hot topic these days. But what exactly is it? The US National Institute of Standards and Technology created the term cloud computing, although there is nothing US specific about it. So cloud computing is a way of using information technology that has these 5 equally important traits. First one is customers get computing resources that are on demand and self-service. Through a web interface, users get the processing power, storage, and network they need with no need for human intervention. Second is customers get access to those resources over the internet from anywhere they have an internet connection. Third is the provider of those resources has a big pool of them and allocates them to users out of that pool. That allows the provider to buy in bulk and pass the savings on to the customers. Customers don't have to know or care about the exact physical location of those resources. Fourth is the resources are elastic, which means they are flexible, so customers can be, right? If they need more resources, they can get more and quickly, and if they need less, they can scale back. And finally, the customers pay only for what they use or reserve as they go. If they stop using resources, they stop paying. That's it. That's the technical definition of cloud. Now let's go to the history of cloud computing. But why is the cloud model is so compelling nowadays? To understand why, we need to look at some history. The trend towards cloud computing started with a first wave with something called co-location. Co-location gave users the financial efficiency of renting physical space instead of investing in data center real estate. But then there is a second wave. Virtualized data centers of today, which is the second wave, share similarities with the private data centers and co-location facilities of decades past. The components of virtualized data centers match the physical building blocks of hosted computing, servers, CPUs, disk, load balancers, and so on. But now they are virtual devices. With virtualization, enterprises still maintain the infrastructure. It's still a user controlled and user configured environment. Several years ago, Google realized that its business could not move fast enough within the confines of the virtualization model. So Google switched to a container based architecture, a fully automated elastic third wave cloud that consists of a combination of automated services and scalable data. Services automatically provision and configure the infrastructure used to run applications. Today, Google Cloud makes this third wave cloud available to the Google customers. Google believes that in future, every company, regardless of size or industry, will differentiate itself from its competitor through technology. Increasingly, that technology will be in the form of software. Great software is based on high quality data. This means that every company is or will eventually become a data company. Now let's discuss about the cloud service offerings. This move to a virtualized data centers introduced customers to two new type of offerings: infrastructure as a service, commonly referred to as IaaS, and platform as a service, that is PaaS. Now IaaS offerings provide raw compute, storage and network capabilities organized virtually into resources that are similar to physical data center. Compute Engine is an example of Google Cloud IaaS service. Now, PaaS offerings, on the other hand, bind code to libraries that provide access to the infrastructure application needs. This allows more resources to be focused on application logic. Now, App Engine is an example of a Google Cloud PaaS service. In the IaaS model, customers pay for the resources they allocate ahead of the time. And in PaaS model, customers pay for the resources they actually use. As cloud computing has evolved, the momentum has shifted towards managed infrastructure and managed services. Leveraging managed resources and services allows companies to concentrate more on their business goals and spend less time and money on creating and maintaining their technical infrastructure. It allows companies to deliver products and services to their customers more quickly and more reliably. Although not shown on this slide, but serverless is yet another step in the evolution of cloud computing, that is serverless computing. Okay, because this serverless computing allows developers to concentrate on their code, okay, rather than on server configuration, and by eliminating the need for any infrastructure management, right? So serverless technologies offered by Google include Google Cloud Run, which allows customers to deploy their containerized microservices based application in a fully managed environment. So Cloud Run functions, which manages event driven code as a pay as you go service. So Cloud Run, this is a serverless technology, okay, of Google, serverless tech of Google. Now, what about SaaS? You might have heard about software as a service and wondered what it is and how it fits into cloud ecospace. Now, software as a service applications are not installed on your local computer, right? They run in the cloud as a service and are consumed directly over the internet by end users. That's the beauty of SaaS. Now, Google's popular applications like Gmail, Google Doc, Google Drive, collectively known as Google Workspace, right? Google Workspace. These all are classified as SaaS. So this ends this video. In the next video, we will learn about the Google Cloud Network. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start growing, hit that subscribe button and join the Cloud Genius Hub. Let's rise, and I will see you in the cloud. See you in my next video. Thank you.